out here for race 2. This is day 1 without the handlebar mustache. I just shaved that off. We have a bit of snow, really wet snow, so it's very hard to tell what to wear. So, getting ready. I have about an hour and 20 minutes to the race. It is going to be a wet race. I thought to myself, maybe you should bring the foot warmer pads to stick on your shoes. And then I said, how cold could it get? Well, I rode less than a quarter mile to the tent to pick up our t-shirts. James is not with me today. He's actually right beside you. I'm talking to him on Facebook. And I'm having my pre-race yum-yums about an hour before. And I have the car going because, 10 minutes out on the bike, and I was freezing.
All right, welcome to the race 2 of the BuDu West Side mountain bike series. And we're getting ready.
35 to 49 on the line, ready to go.
Look how pretty and clean those bikes look, and everybody's outfits.
On, go.
It's not going to look like that soon. Okay, so this one is race 2. It's at Lord Hill Trails, and it was on February 26th, which happened to be my birthday. So I got the race on my birthday. So when we basically arrived at the course, there was about 2 inches of snow, and there was almost no snow anywhere else in the region. I guess some higher elevations like this. So there was about 2 inches of snow, and the first race went out. It was Cat 3, and they actually cut part of the course off because there was so much snow up in that area up around the water tower. So this is where I'm climbing up to right now because rain and wet snow started to fall during the first race. So when our race started, they felt that the upper track was ready to do. So we got to ride it. And this video is going to be a little not as good as some of my most recent ones. Not good in the sense that you hear all the banging from the camera, and also the angle is not as good and it's not as stable. Now that's because I knew that this was going to be a wet day, so I didn't want to use the camera in the new configuration that I have it set up in, which is outside of the case with in a gimbal, and I'm using a windscreen, and so the windscreen over the microphone is giving better sound, the gimbal is giving better quality, and the fact that it's a stabilized video, and I have the angles on that really figured out. So the angle on this is kind of so-so at times. Other times all I got is a lot of top tube, so I'm saving you most of that. So you can see it's slippery, and so there I'm basically saying I've never ridden these trails before. This is the first time I was to Lord Hill, and I'll go back. It was pretty cool, but my first time on this the course, and that was okay. I mean, it really didn't matter, I think, if you knew the course, because there was ice in some sections where it was cold enough. Yeah, I'm talking there about how I'm being thrown back and forth. Well, the roots were wet and muddy, and then sometimes a little bit of ice, and the mud just made you so slippery. So you were bouncing all over the place at times. The bike had a mind of its own. You couldn't choose the line that you wanted. So I found that got robbed of speed a lot there. So the course basically would go back to this road for little sections, and it was pretty wet. So you also at times you would just be going along, and if you got outside the mud, you would just lose control and start to slide all over the place. So I was trying to stay inside the line or inside the mud as much as possible, which is, you know, totally not what you normally do riding. Okay, at this point here, I had gotten so much water and mud in my face, I basically couldn't see much.
The course is basically 4 loops. back to the main trail.
So this one's fun here. Man, you hit that there, and the front shock really saves the day because the other side of that little creek was really steep. So this is kind of like a flat section, but a lot of the flat sections were still going up. There was a lot of climbing in the race, not as much descending, and a lot of the descending, all I got was top tube anyway, so there was not much to show. And one time I went through that section, I hit like a rock and almost went right off the course. Now a fun section's coming up here. This is a nice little section with some descending. It starts right here, and the camera doesn't show it. I mean, I'm using a verb here, but similar to a GoPro, it doesn't really show the fact that that was very steep with a back and forth between the trees. That was pretty tight. And then that was an off-camber turn. This is kind of off-camber, and the bike is slipping away. And right there, the bike tried to slip off the trail, and you can see there's a drop and it goes down a bit. So it was fun, but a lot of skill going on.
Bam, boom, slip, slide.
Slip, slide, yeah. Just trying to keep the bike basically in the track. All while trying to hammer as fast as possible so I can keep up. All right, and then here I'm going through a section. You can see the mud and everything, but there were some sections where the mud just had so much silt and stuff in it. It was kind of like riding through pudding, you know, and you're kind of like an inch, 2 inches deep. So I don't normally ride and stuff like this, but it was impressive. So overall, I did pretty good for me. This is my second Cat 1 race. I've never raced mountain bike before, and I've never raced Cat 1. I did beginner men's cyclocross in the fall. So I placed 45 out of 60 overall, and I placed 11th of 12 in my category, which is men's 35 to 49. And for
a big glob of snow just fell on my head.
And for my category of men, I placed 42 of 51. So that's better than my first race, and we'll see how it goes as the season goes on, and I hope to carry it through into my other race seasons. So thanks for suffering with me today. Hope you enjoyed the mud bath. I've got another one coming up this weekend, so we got back-to-back race weekends. So should be another one up again next week.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.